What's up? How are y'all doing? What's going on? Y'all, it has been a great day. How has y'all's day been? So glad to be here. Y'all, I finally went today because I was telling y'all the other day that I was going to be getting my global entry. No, I didn't do the global entry. I did the pre-check. So I finally went down there today. It was hilarious. So we're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about increasing our credit score because my last video, I was talking about some of the, I would say, banks that I feel like are a little bit harder to get credit with. And I was telling y'all my story about Chase. And so I want to talk about how we can increase our credit score. That way we can apply for any credit card that we want. And then also, I want to talk about, I did a poll on my community tab asking which of the Navy Federal credit cards, which one was your favorite? And y'all already know who won. Y'all have to let me know in the chat which of the Navy Federal credit cards do you think was number one? And we're going to get into it. So I'm excited about the live tonight. Let's see who we have here. Hello, how are you doing? YIYBL. How's it going? Thanks for joining. And then we have Master Yeti. Hey, how are you? Thanks so much for joining as well. So, yes, today I went ahead and got my pre-check, and I had to. So I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and so I had went to the airport. Y'all, for one, I had to pay to park. And then when I actually got to the pre-check, the area, why did I forget my passport? Y'all, I had forgot my passport. And then so I had to come back. So it was gonna cost, it was by like 30 minutes or 35 minutes or something like that for parking. So it was like exactly 30 minutes. And so when I put my ticket in there and I was trying to put my card in there to pay, it wouldn't let me do it. So I had to take my little ticket out. And don't you know, it went from like 30 minutes to 31 minutes, and I had to pay an extra $5. So I had to pay $15 to park. They charged me additional $5 just for that like 1 minute. I was just so mad. So then I had to drive all the way back home and then come back. So then I came back, but it didn't even take me that long, between me parking and walking and then doing all of that. It only took like 30 minutes. So I only had to pay $10 to park. So total, I paid $25 to park. And then I had to pay for the pre-check. And I did that with my Navy Federal flagship credit card. So I should be getting reimbursed for that. And I believe that was like $78, I think. But the process was so quick. So, if you want to go onto the site and sign up, and then you'll have to go into the airport. But I think they have some other locations to where you do it, but you do have to do your fingerprint and things like that. So, but it was so smooth. But it was funny because the first time that I went in there, it was only me and another person, well, a couple, but I think they forgot something too. So then they left. And then when I went back, it seemed like it was getting a little busy at that time, but I still was able to get in and get out. So I was excited about it. Let's see. IYBL said Chase versus Amex. I guess that you're speaking in terms of which one is the hardest. I don't know, because I feel like with American Express, I've pretty much gotten approved. I have 2 American Express credit cards. So I have 1 personal credit card and then I have 1 business credit card. And, I was approved. I usually don't have a hard time. And I feel like I get pretty good limits. But with Chase, I was telling y'all with Chase, I have 3 credit cards right now with Chase, but I really had 4. And so my first credit card with Chase was the Chase Southwest credit card. And I got approved and when I had applied, and I didn't have any problems with it. But that was like a couple years ago, I believe, but that was my first one. So then my second credit card was I want to say it was the Chase Marriott Bonvoy, and I got approved for that one, no problem. That one had a $95 annual fee. And so I was just like, ooh. And then the Chase, I think that one is a $69 annual fee. So, but I think it was probably over like a couple of years when I had applied for the Chase Marriott Bonvoy. So I was good. But then it was only like a couple of maybe like 3 months. And then that's when I had applied for the Chase IHG. And then that's when I got denied. I had got denied. And so I did a reconsideration. So in that video, what I was telling you guys was, Chase has the 5 and 24. And so I was really at 4 credit cards at that time. So I was right on the cusp. Plus, and this is why I want to talk about our credit, I did have one late payment on my credit report, but my credit score was good. So I didn't think that I would get denied because I had never got denied for a credit card. So I was kind of surprised when I had applied for that Chase IHG credit card and I got denied. And so I called the reconsideration line and they just asked me a couple of questions and then I got approved. And so they told me that I had to pull money from one of the other credit cards. And so I just pulled $3,000 from that one. And since I think for the minimum spend, it was only like $2,000. So that's why. So let's see. So IYBL says, I have a ton of MasterCards and a few Visa and one Discover. Yes, I have one Discover myself. I really like the Discover It. I just need an American Express to complete the collection. I think that is a good credit card to get, but I would say what I did, I did the pre-qualification when I had applied for my first American Express card, because the first one that I wanted, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up over here. I wanted the Blue Cash American Express credit card, and that's the one that I wanted. But I said, you know what? Let me do the pre-qualify. So I went on and I did the pre-qualification, and I'm glad that I did, because when I did the pre-qualification, I did not get approved. And so let me see. So I would always suggest to do the pre-qualification. And this is a great question. So this kind of leads me into, what do you think my first American Express credit card should be? And so that's why I'm going to say to do the pre-qualification, because that's what it's going to depend on for me, doing the pre-qualification. But I would get maybe like an idea of which credit card do you want. And so I wanted the Blue Cash Everyday credit card because I thought that this would be a good starter credit card, because it has no annual fee on it. So I'm always going to want no annual fee over anything else. And let's see, you get 3 times cash back on groceries, and then 3 times cash back on online purchases, and then 3 times 3% cash back on gas stations. So that's why I really like that one. And then you will earn 20% back as a statement credit when you use your card with PayPal at merchants for the first 6 months, and you'll get $150 cash back. Plus you'll earn $100 for a statement credit after you spend $2,000 within the first 6 months. So I thought that this was a great one, the Blue Cash Everyday credit card. But when I did the pre-qualification, I got pre-qualified for the American Express Everyday credit card, and then the American Express Gold, and then the Platinum. But I didn't want either one of those because I didn't want a high annual fee on it. So I was okay with the American Express Everyday credit card because I think it's a good card. Let's see. What did he say? So he says, I feel like I might be alone in this, but I feel like I kind of miss the points. Okay, with cash back when they give only statement credits. I don't like when they put the cash back for the statement credit, because that's how it is on my American Express business credit card. They'll do the cash back as a statement credit. And I prefer, like, I really don't like, for my points and my cash back, like, I do not like to use my points and my cash back. Well, I'll say, especially for the cash back, I do not like to use my cash back monthly. I like to hold my cash back and I just like to leave it there. So let's say, like, when I'm traveling, because I really wanted to use all of my points and everything. I wanted to take a trip with all of my points. And so I was saving all of my cash back and my points. So I really kind of will hold them for a while. So I don't like when credit cards put it as a statement credit. But I would most definitely, for American Express, I would go ahead and do the pre-qualification and then apply from there. But I think it really depends on what are your categories, because with the American Express everyday credit card, I would say that that's more of a grocery credit card. So what are your categories? Are you grocery? Are you dining? Are you travel? And then that'll kind of gear you towards what credit card to apply for, because I really just I wanted an American Express credit card. So I just wanted to apply, but I still wanted the blue cash card first. But really, it wasn't going to matter as long as it didn't have an annual fee, because I just wanted to get into American Express. And so even though the grocery is not going to be my highest category, I still feel like it was okay for me to go ahead and apply for the American Express every day, because I would, it would get me into the American Express ecosystem. So that's what I really liked, because once you get into the ecosystem, all of the credit cards that you apply for after that is going to be a soft pool. And, they have a lot of good credit cards. So that's why I did it that way. Let's see. We got Rome in the house. How are you doing? I hope that you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining. And then we have D Hart. What's going on, D? D finally got his Navy Federal internal score. I'm just like, wow. It took me a minute to finally get my internal score. How was it? Was it high? Was it what you thought it was going to be? Because I believe mine was, I think it was like a 355, somewhere off in there with my Navy Federal internal score. But, by the time I had got my Navy Federal internal score, I had already had I think I had two credit cards going into my third credit card, already had an auto loan. And so I was getting approved for like 25,000 when I had got the Navy Federal More Rewards card. So by the time I had got my internal score, it's like, did it really matter? Because I know that I had a good relationship with Navy Federal at that time, because I was getting high credit limits and I was getting low interest rates. So that's where you want to be, with Navy Federal, getting those high credit limits but low interest rates, because that makes all the difference. Let's see. Let's see. Do you have the checking line? No, I don't have the checking line of credit with Navy Federal, but I'm probably going to do a video, because somebody asked me about that the other day, about doing a checking line of credit, but I didn't necessarily think for myself that I needed it, but I'm going to look into it a little bit more. Let's see. LeBrant said waiting. Oh, yes. So in the last live stream, so I think that was Saturday. Maybe it was Friday or Saturday. I did a live stream and they did a late night hack and applied for the the Navy Federal More Rewards and got approved for 25,000. And you know what is so funny? So let me share my screen with you guys. Hold on. So when I did the poll on my community tab, so I asked, what is your favorite Navy Federal credit card? So you can see here that 40% of people said that the More Rewards was their favorite credit card. And then it was the Navy Federal flagship with 29%. And then the Navy Federal Cash Rewards card with 25%. So I was kind of surprised, but I definitely thought that the More Rewards was going to be the top one, and it was at 40%. And so I think that that is really good that you got approved for the Navy Federal More Rewards. And let's see, let's come over here. But you know what? I feel like, because it seems like with the Navy Federal More Rewards, I feel like with that credit card, more than some of the other credit cards, it seems like Navy Federal, and I don't know if this is just me, but let me know in the comments. I feel like with the More Rewards credit card, a lot of people get approved for 25,000, because when I got this credit card, I got approved for 25,000, and this was my second credit card. So I had already had the Navy Federal flagship, and that one I had only got approved for 6,700, y'all. Like, that was so low. I had only got approved. So then when I had applied for the More Rewards and I got 25,000, I was like, yeah, that is what I'm talking about. But let's see. Let's see. D said my sister just got 30K with the More Rewards credit card. That is amazing. Let's see. LaRon says applying for that More Rewards tonight. I got the flagship for 25K and I just hit my 91. Okay, so yes, LaRon, let us know if you I feel like you'll probably get approved for the 25K, because I don't know, it just seems like with the Navy Federal More Rewards card that I feel like more people get approved for a higher limit. But let me know what you think. So right now with the Navy Federal More Rewards card, I really like it because, hold on, let me see, what did he say? So D said, me and my other sister started with 25K too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I really feel like with the More Rewards, I don't know, I just feel like they give more of a credit limit, because when I had applied for the Navy Federal Cash Rewards, so that was my third credit card, they only approved me for like 14,000. So, I didn't even get, I thought I would have probably got more than that, but I only got the 14. So my Navy Federal More Rewards is the highest at 25K. So I think that that's good. So what I really like about the Navy Federal More Rewards, one, is that it doesn't have an annual fee. So that's really good. And right now they have to where you can get the 1.99% interest for 12 months. So that's good, because the interest rate after that is going to be 13.4 to 18%. So, and then you can get 3 times the points on groceries, 3 times the points on restaurants, 3 times the points on gas, and then 1 times the points on everything else. And so that's why I really like using my Navy Federal flagship with the More Rewards, because I can get 3 times the points for really just like my everyday spending. That's why I think that is, it's really good, because it's just like an everyday spending credit card. And then for the other things, I can get 2 times the points with my Navy Federal flagship. So that's why I really like those two together. I think they're a really good fit. Okay, D said I did 2 increases on my More Rewards. Okay, and you got 8,000 both times. Yeah, because what they were saying was because this is what I did that one time, because for my Navy Federal flagship, since I had only been approved for the 6,700 and I had the card is it 3? It might be going on 4 years that I've had that one, and I didn't do a credit line increase or anything like that for a minute. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do a credit line increase, but I'm going to see like would they take me up to 25. So I put 25 on my application when I applied, I believe, but they only approved me for 8,000. But when I did the video, that's what everybody was saying, is that, you know, whatever your credit limit is, they're only going to do a credit limit increase of $8,000. So, you know, that's something to know. Okay, let me see. But yeah, that's really good. Let me see if I missed any. So D also said the max is 3K, but if you're on active duty, you can get 5K. I think you're talking about the checking line of credit for that one. So I'll have to take a look. Let me see. IYBL said, have you ever heard of Mr. Plastic Fantastic, aka Walter, has 1,497 valid credit cards, adding up to 1.7 million available credit? Whoa, his custom wallet. Wow. Is 38 pounds. I don't know that I've heard of this individual, but I did hear of one person that they had so many credit cards and they were like churning it and making so much money that they ended up going to court, and then that's how they changed some of the um you know the terms on the, you know, when you're getting all of these rewards and stuff. So wow, he has 1.7 million in available credits. Ooh, that's pretty good for only 1,497. But I'm just like, wow, to have a over, well, maybe I guess you can say 1,500 credit cards. Like I only have 10 credit cards, but I wouldn't say that it was too many. But I don't even know. It's like, do you even want to apply for that many credit cards? I'm going to have to look that up because I think that is very interesting. And he has a custom wallet. Now, I know that I would not be carrying all those credit cards around. Wow, that is interesting. Thanks for sharing. I'm going to have to look that up and take a look at that. Let's see. So D said I only had the more rewards for a year and 6 months. Yeah, that's not bad. D said, I thought 17 credit cards was a lot. I know. Like I have 10 credit cards, so I have 9 personal credit cards, and then I have 1 business credit card. And I'm like, that's enough. But I don't even know, because I'm just like, how many years did it take for him to get that many credit cards? Like, wow, his when he takes a look at his credit report, like he really has to make sure that he is taking a look at that. So wow, that is interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Rome said, hold on, let me get it up here. Let's see. On the business side of Chase, which would you go for first? A credit card with cash or the unlimited? You know, when I'm gonna pull up some of the Chase business credit cards. Cause see, when I was looking for business credit cards, Chase, they were sending me like welcome offers and things, but I was just like, it seems like with the Chase business credit cards, for one, it seemed like those minimum spends, oh man, it was just like they were just too high for me. And so I was just like, I don't know about any of those business credit cards, but I can say, let me see this Business Inc. Unlimited. So you said the unlimited or the cash? Let's see. Well, the offers are pretty good on both because both of them have a $900 cash back bonus, and you have to spend $6,000 in the first 3 months. And see, yeah, I didn't really like having to spend $6,000 in 3 months because, like, I really don't like a $4,000 minimum spend. So a $6,000 minimum spend, no way. That's gonna be too much for me. But with the unlimited, you get 1.5% cash back. And then with the Chase Inc. Business Cash, you get 5% cash back on the first 25,000 spent with office supplies, store, internet. And then you get 2% cash back on gas, restaurants. So you know what? I really feel like the Business Inc. Well, the Inc. Business Cash, I actually think this one is the one that I would go towards, because with the unlimited, you're only going to get 1.5% cash back, but it's going to be on all of your purchases. Now, the thing is, depending on what kind of business do you have, you know, you can get 5% cash back on your internet, cable, and phone service, but I'm just like, I don't know about that. But then being able to get 2% cash back on gas and restaurants, I think I would like that. And then 1% cash back on everything else. So I don't think that you can go wrong with either. And plus, since you can get the $900 cash back on both, I actually think I would probably go with the Inc. Business Cash over the unlimited. But you'll have to let me know what you think about that. And plus, there's no annual fee on that one too. So I like that one. Yeah. And then right here, it has 0% interest on purchases for the first 12 months. Yeah. So I like that. I like that one. But I think both of them are good. Yeah. And then I like how they, so let's see, 6,000. And see, I like how they do this to where you can see, like, what is your monthly spend? And then this is how much you could earn in your first year just based off of you earning 1.5% cash back plus your bonus. So I really like that. Let's see. D asked me, do I have any lines of credit? No, I don't have any lines of credit. I just have credit cards. But I am going to look into the Navy Federal line of credit, because somebody was asking me about that the other day. And yeah, because they were asking me which one would I want, which one would I prefer to do? Would I prefer to do the line of credit or like a credit card? And I said, for me, it's really going to depend on what is the interest rate. That's how I'm going to decide what I'm going to do. So it's going to be the interest rate for me all the way. Let's see. Let's see, U.S. Bank Shopper Cash versus the American Express Blue Cash Preferred. Well, I think with the American Express Blue Cash Preferred, it has the first year, I believe, to where there's no annual fee. Let me see if I can pull that one up. I don't know a whole lot about the U.S. Bank. Here, let me share my screen with you again. So, yeah. So with the Blue Cash Preferred, the first year is 0. And then the second year is $95. And then you can earn $250 back if you spend $3,000 within the first 6 months. And that's why I really like American Express. But I feel like a $3,000 minimum spend, that's not going to be hard to get at all. So I really like that. But it's going to be in the form of a statement credit. And see, that's the only downside, because I don't want a statement credit. I want to be able I want to be able to save my cash back. And so that's the only downside for me on that one. But like I said, you can get 6% cash back on supermarkets. That is really good. But I feel like you have to know your spending. So do you do a lot of grocery shopping and then streaming? Because you can get 6% cash back. So I would say for me, getting 6% cash back for groceries is not going to really be beneficial for me. And so that's why it's important for us to understand our spending to see if this is going to be better for you. And then I'm not for sure on the, let's see, this was the US Bank Shoppers versus the American Express Blue. So I think it's going to depend on, because that US Bank, that one still sounds like a let me see if I can pull that one up. Bank. Okay. Let me see if I can find that one. So wow, you can get 6% cash back on that one too. But what I like about it is 6% cash back on your first 1,500 in combined purchases each quarter at the retailer of your choice. And so it has 24 retailers. So I would really have to see if those retailers are going to be ones that I'm going to like. So I kind of like this one a little bit more because it seems like you're going to have let's see, more categories. Let's see. Oh wow. But see, the only thing about this one is I don't know that I'm really, so you have Apple, Amazon, Kohl's, Macy's, Nordstrom, Pottery Barn, Target, Walmart. So maybe with the Target, well, see, really, like I don't shop a lot at Target and Walmart. So, like for me, this one, I think I would probably still choose the American Express over this one, but that's going to be me. But that's why I'm saying that you really have to figure out what your categories are, because 6% cash back on these categories. Now, maybe if Walgreens was in there or Kroger were in there, but see, or some kind of restaurant, because there's no restaurants in here. So see, that's what I'm saying. Both of those credit cards probably wouldn't benefit me as much. Let me see if there's an annual fee on this one. Oh, okay. So yeah, these are very similar credit cards because there's no annual fee for the first year and then $95 after that. Wow. So let me know in the comments, which one would you pick? Which one would you guys pick? Would you guys pick the US Bank Shoppers card or the American Express Blue Cash Preferred card? Well, the good thing is, okay, you get $250 cash back after spending $2,000 in your first 120 days. So that is not bad. I like it. But I actually, I don't know. I feel like I would still, yeah. So this one is really good. Those are two very similar credit cards. But I think I would probably pick the American Express over the US Bank because, yeah, I think I would pick that one. So, yeah, let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Let's see. So, the next question is, can you prepay your mortgage with plastic service to easily meet a 6,000 minimum spend? You know what? This is going to be tough because with plastic, I believe you have to, you said that you have a lot of MasterCards. So with your MasterCard, I believe you can pay your mortgage with your MasterCard, but I would always see because I would say like for Chase, you cannot do it because I tried to do it with Chase and they had so many restrictions to where with plastic, I could only do like small transactions, maybe like 100 or 150. And so it was very hard for me to get my minimum spend that way. So I did not like that. But when I believe when I had the, let me see, I can't remember which credit card. It might have been one of my Chase credit cards. I believe it was my Chase IHG. I was able to pay my mortgage on that one and I didn't have any problems. So it seemed like for that credit card, I didn't have problems. But for some of the other Chase, well, when I did my Chase Sapphire Preferred card, I was not able to do a lot of the plastic payments to get the minimum spend. So I wasn't able to do that. Let's see. D said the Unified FCU has a nice credit line, and the credit cards have no cash advance fees or no balance transfer fees. Ooh, so that's really good because now that we're in the beginning of the year, I know that was, I'm going to be making a video on this next. I know people were stating that they want to pay off debt. And one way that I kind of suggest, possibly paying off debt is to do balance transfers. Now, one of the credit cards that I was talking about and how I did it was with the Discover It. So I was able to do the Discover It, but I have another video where I was talking about 5 other credit cards. And I believe there was a US bank possibly where you can do up to 21 months. But with the Discover It, I believe it was only 15 months. But it was most of the, when you doing the balance transfers, they're going to have anywhere between, I would say 3 and 5% transfer fee. But for this to have no balance transfer fee is really good. Okay, so D said the Navy Federal checking line of credit interest rate is 13.99%. So D, I can tell you already just from having the 13.99, I would say no, because I think that's great that we were just talking about doing a balance transfer with a credit card. I would way want to do a balance transfer on a credit card and you can get 0% interest for, 12, 15, 18, or 21 months than doing a checking line of credit for 13.9%, because that's just going to eat up your monthly payments and things like that. But it's really going to depend, but I would way rather have me a credit card that's going to have a 0% interest, especially even like with some of the American Express credit cards and some of the Discover credit cards. And I would have to see with this US bank credit card. A lot of the times they're going to have no interest for 15 months, and that's where it's going to be. That's like a sweet spot, especially if, let's say you need a large limit for you doing something around the house. Like what I did, I had got an HVAC unit. And so at the time I had the Bank of America credit card. And so I just pulled the cash from there. And when I was paying it off, it had a 0 interest. And then with the Discover It, you could do a balance transfer and then you can have 0% interest for. So I would rather do a 0% interest credit card, and I would even rather do the balance transfer and get, even, let's say if it's going to be a couple of thousand and maybe you'll have $100 balance transfer fee. I would rather do that than have, if you get the same amount in a checking line of credit or something like that and it has a 13.9% interest, like over time you're going to be paying a whole lot of interest. So I would rather do a credit card, but I'll look into it a little bit more. Let's see. Imran said, let's see, get that credit line, get that credit up. Yeah, definitely. And we can talk about that. We can go into that in a minute. Let's see. Do you remember what your utilization was when you applied for your second? Probably 1%, because what I do, I pay my credit cards off every month. But what I like to do is I like to use a credit card utilization hack so that I am paying off the card after my statement date, and so that I'm reporting to the credit bureau so that I can report, I would say up to 7%, because that's going to be like a sweet spot, but you want to report less than, I would say, 7%. But usually, even if, like one time I had, when I had first got the Chase Sapphire Preferred, I don't know how, but one time I ended up reporting just for that credit card. It was like 30% just for that one credit card, but my overall was still 1%. So my utilization on my credit cards are very low, because usually I don't report a whole lot. I like to pay my credit cards off every month, and then pick like one or two credit cards and report, maybe like 2%. But even when I do that, my overall utilization is still going to be 1%. So, but I think, especially when you are applying for credit cards, having your utilization low I feel like it's going to be great when you're applying for credit cards, because you don't want that creditor to see you having a lot of high utilization, because they're going to just think that you're just shopping around to get more of a, more limit, and you can't really sustain it. So that's why I usually say paying off, the debt and having low utilization. But especially if you want to increase your credit score really fast, the easiest way to do that is with our decreasing our credit utilization, because our credit utilization is 30% of our credit. So let me see. Let's see, American Express Business Platinum is running a promotion for 150,000 in membership reward points, and that's really good. But you have to spend 15,000 in 3 months. And see, I would say, for me, because, and then I probably would have to see, because I'm pretty sure that one has a $695 annual fee on it, but I'm not for sure. But see, woo, oh my goodness. Even though you get a lot of membership reward points, doing a $15,000 minimum spend within 3 months, that's going to be a no for me. I'm going to have to say no. Let's see. Them trade lines will boost the credit. Yeah, it would boost the credit. I sell mine. D, oh my gosh. I'm so surprised. But I know that people do that. But see, the thing is, I really feel like, with doing the trade lines, because that's one thing that I've said. If you wanting to increase your credit score, let's say if you have no to low or bad credit and you want to increase your credit score, doing a trade line, or seeing if you can get a family member or somebody to add you as an authorized user on your credit card, is something really good. But then that person has to make sure that they are maintaining a good credit score. And then see, the thing is, what are going to be the terms of you having that person on your adding them as an authorized user on your credit card. And I know some of the credit card companies, especially I want to say American Express, they might be kind of cracking down on that. But I think that would be good, because I feel like my credit score is so for 3 months. Okay. Wow, that is pretty cool. I think that is cool. Let's see. uh it is great side money. Wow. Yeah, I don't know any. I didn't know anybody that did that, and I haven't done that myself. But I think that sometimes with doing the adding somebody as an authorized user on there, you just have to kind of be careful with that. Let's see. I add the card. Let's see, the cards I add people to Oh yeah, keep that utilization very low. Okay. I think that is really, I think that's cool. You'll have to see how it is for the, how soon is it boosting up their credit score when you're doing that? Because sometimes I feel like it might take a little bit of time, but then I feel like you have to have a plan. When that person has to have a plan when you are adding them as an authorized user. So usually at that time, that's probably when I would apply for the credit cards that I want, because when you take them off, is that going to decrease their credit score because now they don't have those, you know, credit lines reporting on their credit reports anymore? Okay. It's boosted by the statement date. Yeah, because see, technically with the, let's say how I do my credit cards. So usually really you can charge as much as you want on your credit cards as long as you are paying your whatever your minimum amounts on that due date, as long as you're paying that, and then you have it down by the time your statement date to, under, I would say 7%, or lower, to where when it reports to the credit bureau, you're not reporting a high balance. You can do that. So really for our credit cards, it's really about understanding the timing of when is your credit card reporting to the credit bureau. And so you have, really kind of like 4 to 5 weeks to be able to, do your spending. And as long as you have it paid down by that date, and that you have made your whatever your minimum payment is, you're going to be okay. So yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah. Let's see. So yes, I also wanted to talk about increasing our credit. So, I think that that's really good because when we are looking at our credit score, so we have our payment history, our credit utilization, our length of credit, our new credit, and our credit mix. And see, that's why I was saying when I was applying for the Chase credit card and they had denied me, I had that one, I had a late payment on there. And see, when you get late payments on your credit, that is 35% of your credit score. So if you already have a low credit score and then you get that late payment on there, it's going to be hard for you to get your credit score back up because the late payment is going to pretty much stay on there for a while, compared to when we take a look at our credit utilization. Our credit utilization is 30% of our credit score. But if you have high utilization and if you can get that down, like you can increase your credit score like month over month really fast if you decrease your credit utilization. So our payment history and our credit utilization, that's 65% of our score right there. And then our length of credit, that's going to be 15%. But it takes years to be able to, get our length of credit. But I would also say with our length of credit, and especially if you have so many credit cards, you want to make sure that you are reporting a little bit on those credit cards, because credit card companies have been slashing credit limits and they have been closing credit cards. So you want to make sure that you are reporting on those credit cards so that they're not closing them. And then with our new credit, that's going to be our inquiries. Let's say you are applying for a lot of credit cards. It's, if you have probably over 4 to 5 credit inquiries, that can definitely not look that good, to the creditors. But then also, when you apply for a credit card, usually you'll lose a couple of points, but usually within a few months, you'll get those back. But you know how, when I had applied for that Chase credit card, and I had 4 personal credit cards on my reporting within a 24-month period. So I was really close to that 5 and 24. And then new credit, well, no, credit mix. So new credit and credit mix is going to be 10% of our credit. So our credit mix is just different. So you have your revolving credit, and that's going to be like your credit cards. And then you have installment, and that's going to be like our, our mortgage, student loans, car loans, and things like that. So you want to have a good mix of credit on your credit reports. Let's see. Dee said, I just need to be added to one person's credit card with the 15 with the 15-year history, and I'll be great. Dee, that is so funny. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Dee said, I have like 11 to 17 inquiries and I still be getting approved. That's good. But see, it's going to depend on which credit card company you're going to be applying for, because let's say if it's Chase, then more than likely you're not going to get approved for the Chase credit cards. But some of the other credit bureau credit cards are they're not going to mind, possibly. Let me see. IYBL said, I have a side hustle I started last year when I found out that just anyone can own ATMs. I started an ATM business. Let's see. Yes. So it says, do I now qualify for a business card with a legitimate business? Yes. If you have your EIN number, you should be able to apply. I know for like American Express, I had to provide my EIN number, and I was able to get approved. So yeah, just go ahead and get your EIN number and you should be good. But that is amazing that you have your own ATM business. Congratulations to you. That is really good. Let's see. D says, I deal with a lot of credit unions. Okay. And see, I really like credit unions because, one, especially for, let's say you're trying to get an auto loan, or even, thinking about Navy Federal with the credit cards. And let's say if you are, having a balance on the credit cards, I would say the interest rates are really good. With the credit cards, I would say the interest rates are the lower than most of the industry standard for the credit cards. And then with the interest rates, right now, I believe for a 60-month loan with Navy Federal, you can get probably about a 4.5% interest rate. That's really good compared to, let's say, if you went to the dealership, it's no telling. It might be 8% or more for that interest rate. So I think if you can get on with a credit union, and it doesn't even have to necessarily be Navy Federal, because I'm a part of another credit union here in Nashville, Tennessee. So, I would say to be able to get on with any credit union. And D says, I have 6 different credit unions that he's a part of. So that is pretty good. Yeah, that's really good, because I think you just get so many better perks with the credit unions than you do with regular banks, and because I'm just like, I'm still kind of salty about Bank of America just closing out those credit cards. My sister is a part of Navy Federal as well, and she was telling me that because she doesn't really use her Navy Federal, like I use my Navy Federal, and they had sent her something stating that they were going to close the accounts if she didn't use it. And I'm just like, that's great. At least they let her know that what they were going to do if you didn't, deposit some money or do something within a certain amount of time. But it's like Bank of America, they just closed those credit cards on me without even saying anything. So I was just like, I had been up with Bank of America probably, like several years, probably over like 14 years or so. And so I was just so disappointed when they had closed those cards, because, when we think about our credit report and our length of credit, so you have to think, my Bank of America credit cards, I had those like double-digit years, and our length of credit is going to be 15% of our credit score. So if I lost, 14, 15 years of credit history, that can pull my credit history low, and then that can really impact my credit score. So when they had closed those credit cards, I was so nervous because I'm just like, whoa, how is this going to impact my credit score? But I still had one other credit card that I had got around the same time. And so it did not decrease my credit score compared to, when I had paid off the auto loan, it did decrease my credit score. And so it took me almost to a 700 when I had paid my auto loan off, but now I'm up to an 800 on my credit score, but that's going to be my FICO 9. I believe that was my TransUnion score. I had pulled that from Navy Federal, but my TransUnion, my Equifax, and my Experian, I want to say my TransUnion and my Experian is 755. So both of those scores are the same, but that's going to be for my FICO 8. So I really want to get all of my credit scores up to an 800 or better. And really, my TransUnion FICO 9 went down 5 points because it was 805 and now it's an 800. So I was kind of like, whoa, it went down a little bit, but I was still okay. Because to say that it was 800, but I really want all of my other credit scores to go up as well. So yep. So I would say if we want to increase our credit score fast, definitely tackle the credit utilization and not report a lot. Because on the Experian, because I love the Experian website because it has so much good information on how to increase our credit scores. And some of the information that they have on there is, let's say when you're reporting, because let's say if you have a lot of credit cards, you don't want to report on all those credit cards. You really want to report only on 3 credit cards. And for a minute, I was reporting on like 5, but it was still a low amount. And let me see, what did D said, get a trade line and you'll be 800 easy. But it's like technically, but see, that's where because I think that I'm trying to think if I still have a late payment, because you know how they're still reporting on there because it almost takes 7 years. But when I was looking at my Discover app, it was saying that I didn't have any late payments on there anymore. So it's been a while since I had any late payments on my credit report. So let's see. We got Money Mel Jr. on here. What's up, Mel? Mel, if you want to come up, you can. We got, it's the new year. We got to get some content. Y'all have to go over to his channel because he has a lot of great content on his channel. Let me see if I can pull it up. But yeah, y'all have to go over to his channel. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in here because he has a lot of good content out. Let's see, but we got to get some new content out, but he still has some good content that's already up. Let's see. There we go. And thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I really appreciate you for doing that. But yeah, we did a collab a while ago. Here, let me put this on the screen. So yes, y'all have to go over to his channel. He has a lot of good info because he was last talking about investments, and I really like the utilization because I'm always trying to run little tests on my utilization so that I can increase my credit score. And so even here he's talking about, does having multiple credit cards hurt your credit score? So he has a lot of good info on there. So y'all have to check him out. Let me see. D says, I'm reporting 10 credit cards and I have a 792 and an 800. And that's good. That's good. But see, the thing is, like, I feel like if you want to have a high credit score, I would say the two main things is one, not having any late payments, because I feel like the late payment, that's what really impacted my score and that's what took it down. So the late, not having any late payments and then keeping the credit utilization low, that's gonna be the main thing. And then having a good length of credit. So I would say the sooner that you can apply, even if it's a secured credit card, you can still get a secured credit card and put 250 or 1,000. It depends on how much you want to put on there. But the only thing is when you do a secured credit card, it's like really you have to put money on there that it's like you don't need right now, because basically you're funding your credit card, and then usually within 6 months or so, it really depends on which credit card company that you're doing. Usually you can graduate it to a unsecured credit card. So let's see. We got Trump said, what's up, Trump? Said, number one info right here. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much for all that, coming over to the channel, leaving me comments and stuff like that. So I always appreciate your support. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate y'all. And speaking of that, I need to see, because I hadn't really heard anything about the student loans. What's going on. It's kind of been quiet, so I need to get out there and see like what kind of information, what kind of updates do they have, and get something out. So let me see. Oh, wow. Let me see. Money Mail said, well, first, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Oh, yeah. Late payments are the worst, number one worst, especially on one of your oldest accounts. I would just say in general, like if you have a late payment on your credit, that's like the worst thing that is going to pull down your credit score. Because see, like for me, with my credit, everything else is really, really good. So like my utilization is pretty much 1% all the time. I have a good length of credit. I have a good credit mix. And then my new credit or my inquiries, I think I only have 2 inquiries on my credit report. So I'm doing really good on those. But with that late payment, so that's not, that was really dragged my credit score down. So I would say really be careful of that. D said, oh, D, you are so funny. My length of credit, but see, this is one thing that I do want to talk about, because I feel like my length of credit is over probably 15 years. But see, the thing is, my length of credit, well, I would say my longest card is probably going to be 15 years. But when you start applying for new credit cards, when you apply for new credit cards, it really decreases your length of credit. So while my longest credit card length is probably going to be over 15 years, the average is, I think, about 10 years. But I'll have to take a look at that, because when I go onto the Experian app, it'll tell me. But I think, because when I saw that, I was just like, wow, my length of credit, well, my longest credit card is over 15 years. But then by me applying for credit cards quite often, it's decreasing that length of credit to, I think, like 10 years. So that is not good. Let's see. Let's see. D. Okay. D said, "Oh, how do I send a super chat?" Let's see. If you want to send a super chat, I think on the bottom of the screen it has like a little um like a little money sign, and you just hit it and you can send a super chat. But I just appreciate you guys support, being on the live, and then asking questions, and then that's just, going back and forth. Let's see. Yep. Money Mail said facts. Yes. When I saw that, I'm telling you, when you be applying for all those credit cards, it really decreases your length of credit. Let's see. D said mine is only 3 years and 8 months. Wow. But D, that is so interesting that you're still able to do the trade lines. Wow. That is interesting. But yeah, but yes, y'all can go over to, and really you can find that information either on Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax. But I really like the Experian. I think I'm signed up on the TransUnion, but I don't go to that one that often. And then Equifax, but my Equifax score is usually the highest. But on the one hand, especially like Chase and Navy Federal, they never pull my Experian. I don't know of a lot of creditors that pull Experian. I think maybe, I don't know if Capital One, but see, I don't have any Capital One credit cards. I believe they might pull the the Equifax. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody pulls Equifax. Like nobody pulls Equifax, but it's just like I feel like the Equifax credit score is the highest, but it's like nobody even pulls the freaking Equifax. But I would say to me, TransUnion. Well, no, I would say either the TransUnion or the Experian, yeah, are gonna be where they get pulled from the most. But I think it's probably the Experian. So yeah. But I think, especially since we are at the beginning of the year, and if we are trying to increase our credit score, I would say the number one thing that we want to do is just pull our credit. Just go ahead and pull our credit, and you can go on to the my annual credit reports, and you can pull all of your credit reports, because you want to pull all of them, because you want to check and see, is everything reporting the same on all of those, and then just write down, on another piece of paper, because I always have like a little notepad. I have like a little notepad right here, and just write down everything, so to make sure everything is reporting the same, and then pull your credit reports, because usually you can get your credit report free, but your credit score, you might have to pay for that. So but see, I like that, with my Navy Federal, I can pull my TransUnion, but that's going to be my FICO 9, and then I can go on the Experian app, and then I can get my Experian score for free. And I never go on the TransUnion or Experian, so, but I probably could. And then a lot of the credit card companies like Chase, but I feel like Chase, they have the Vantage score, and I never look, even though the Vantage score is really high, but for me, it's always going to be my FICO 8 or my FICO 9. And really, I prefer my FICO 8, even though that's not my highest scores. And then because my FICO 9 is a little bit more. But D says you can pull your Equifax. Oh, okay. I thought it was a TransUnion. But I know they have that one dashboard, and that one might be Equifax, but I'll have to take a look. Let me see. Money Mail said that is a big surprise when people do auto loans. Oh, it makes their credit history decrease. Yes. Well, I would say the one good thing about it is, a lot of these items will stay on your credit report, but it's just not going to be active. It's going to be inactive items on your credit report. But see, the one thing about it is, let's say like when I paid off my auto loan, it actually decreased my credit score. And I was just like, but on the one hand, I was just like, since I didn't want the debt, because I paid it off in 1 year, so I really didn't have to, I didn't necessarily have to rush, but I wanted to go ahead and pay it off. So like for me, when you think about, like, let's say Dave Ramsey, and he'll say, well, you don't necessarily really need a credit score. When I went ahead and paid that off, I knew I was going to be losing some points, but I was just like, I'd rather pay it off and not have any debt than just have the debt on there. So it didn't really matter. And plus, since, because, the big things is you need is your car and, let's say, like a mortgage. So since I had those things, I wasn't really worried about what my credit score was, kind of in that way. But, if I'm applying for credit cards, I'll make sure, but my credit score is always good. But if I could get all of my scores up to 800, I would really be happy. So, but yeah. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end here soon. So let's see. What did Trump say? He says, everybody, please y'all hit the like button. I don't know how many likes are, because I can't see it from where I'm at. But one, I just appreciate you guys for joining. It's always good. And a huge shout out to Mel. Mel, definitely looking for some new content this year, because you are always dropping a whole lot of knowledge on your channel. And yeah, so looking for that. But I just appreciate everybody. DIYBL asking, and just giving us a lot of information, and Trump. So I appreciate y'all for joining, and anybody else that, because I think we have 19 people on here. But even if you're not responding or, putting in the chat, I just appreciate y'all for joining. But I definitely hope that y'all have a great rest of the week, because it's only Tuesday. So I hope that y'all have a good week and y'all have a good night. But thanks so much for joining, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.